What Buffalo may or may not think of as the old Ford plant is currently sitting on the edge of a beautiful body of water. So with the promised resurgence coming from Buffalonians and non-Buffalonians alike, what can we do with this piece of land, you may ask? Nearly sandwiched between Lake Erie and the Buffalo River lay hundreds of thousands of square feet that is currently not being used. So how can we change that? Before we get to that step, we must first recognize the space for what it is. Since Terminal A's inception in the 1930s, it's been the site of industry, and an industrial model to repurpose the land is not the average 20-something's dream for a new Buffalo. And maybe it doesn't need to be. Industrial opportunities that were offered by the auto industry in the past have faded dramatically, and now owned by ECHDC, the gate at Terminal A is just a memory of what was. And if we are going to preserve what would have always been had it not been for the site of industry, we're probably better not to go down that route. So, what ideas have been thrown out there? Well, a common trend in the ideas so far have been to create a residential space, but anyone who knows what Buffalo's weather is like, especially in the winter, might be reluctant to go much further with that notion. Creating a space for homes could be flat out unsafe. Those who choose to ignore the safety concerns don't seem to be imagining these homes being affordable for many Buffalonians in the first place. There is currently a trend that means living that close to water means paying more for what the average person can afford and doesn't really serve the community for what it is, blue collar. Another idea is to make Terminal A attractive to the general public by creating restaurants, hotels, and even a space for concerts, which in the summer does sound wonderful. But with our fairly short summers, would that really give us the best use? Or perhaps we could offer concerts seasonally. And what about preservation? Terminal A is surrounded by someone's habitat. Should we all work together to create something that essentially kills it? Or should we leave the rest of the outer harbor for wildlife? There have been multiple proposals, but the best use might just be something that serves us all. A restaurant, marketplace, and a nightclub would give Buffalo new life. A super nightclub is something that we just don't have, and with all the space Terminal A provides, we could appeal to those interested in Buffalo's nightlife and provide a beautiful space for people to go during the day. Everything on the land side of Terminal A screams industry, with the train tracks and highway right beside it, but changing the infrastructure into more of a promenade than it kind of already is has to be a step in the right direction. Whatever your stance on the revitalization of Terminal A or the Buffalo Outer Harbor in general, a change is sure to come, and we can look to an old saying for inspiration: where there is water, there is life. And although the birds are nice, it would be wonderful to see some human life around here soon.